Ultimate Real Custom Road Build Part 5. Let's do this. Today we'll be continuing on my build series. The bike is still in a state of flux when it comes to parts, but I'm still getting to a point where I'm reasonably happy with most of this setup now. And today we'll be talking about the group set. So this will include what I was running and what I'm currently running right now. So when I built up this bike, a lot of the parts were both off my Venge and my Genesis. So originally I put part of Ultegra R8000 group set on the bike. So shifters and derailleurs. The cranks and now chainrings are rotor, as you know. But at the time I didn't want to commit to full hydraulic. Yeah, they weren't RS505s, but they're still bigger than the Di2 or mechanical counterparts. Price was another thing that put me off. I ended up going for a pair of Ds from Juin Tech. Was it Juin Tech? These are the GT-F, so these are basically semi-hydraulic disc calipers. Basically you can use older mechanical brake shifters and have a good halfway house between mechanical and hydraulic braking. These are also 4-piston, meaning more power depending on who you talk to. In the beginning the brakes were really bad, worse than rim brakes, but once they bedded in they end up being pretty good. Although this is coming from someone that hasn't experienced a full disc brake setup on a road bike. I started using the Jaguar Elite cables because they were compressionless. These aren't designed for full internal routing, so you need a cable stop, which makes the rear brakes a bit draggy. The front were fine. I ended up changing both cables to Jaguar compressionless standard housing, and there was a big difference in terms of the brakes. They didn't feel as draggy and released all the way. In terms of adjustability of travel, it's good, but if you want less travel, it does make adjusting the brakes a lot more difficult. But the problems that start here. So I started to notice when I pressed the front brake it didn't release, and I was thinking maybe it was the cable. Disconnected the cable and the brake wouldn't completely release. Let me give you an example. So this is the front brake and I'm going to press it right now. They also recommend not to press it without a brake in it, but this isn't working, so I'm going to show you. So I press the lever and it releases very slowly, and this is not all the way, so I'm going to quickly open it right now, and that is all the way. Let me give you an example from the rear brake. So this is a rear brake. You press the rear brake and it releases, and this is what's supposed to happen. You press it and it releases. You press that, it releases extremely slowly. At this point I took the caliper off to completely see what was going on. So I contacted the distributor I purchased these calipers off, Edge Sports. They were really good to deal with at the time of purchase, but their after sales care was an absolute joke. At the moment I've been waiting 5 months for a reply and nothing. If you really want these brakes, purchase them off eBay or AliExpress, because you'll probably get better customer care. Because of this issue and the fact I didn't want to be without a bike, I got a front TLP Spy caliper before upgrading to full hydraulic brakes. So off with the Ultegra and in with the 105. So shifters, calipers and derailleurs. Setting up the gears are like any other mechanical shifting group set. Setting up the discs a lot easier than I thought. Bleeding brakes, something I was a bit worried about, super easy. Didn't have to worry about cables, and now I have 2 less cables to worry about. I also mentioned that the bigger shifters put me off going hydro, and they aren't that bad. I've even gotten used to them now. Because I changed the group set, I wanted the chainrings to be a bit more group set neutral. So I'm now running a pair of rotor aero chainrings in a combination of 5236 with an aero cover for that extra aero gains. Cassette is 1130, been running 1128 for some time, but decided to try 1130, which is a bit of a change because the sprocket sizes are different, but like many things, you get used to it. Chain is a KMC X11 extra light, wax because that's the best way of lubing your chain, and the bike and drivetrain stays cleaner. Rotors, so originally I ran a pair of Hopes, which I had some issues with, so changed them to R8000 Ultegra ones, which squeaked a lot in the rain and warped extremely easily. So ended up getting a pair of Swiss top rotors in 160mm front and rear, which are better, but I've also gotten to the point where they sometimes squeak in the dry. But They're a million times better than the Shimano's. And I think that's everything I mentioned in my group set. So, if you like the video, give me a like below. If you want to see more content like this, subscribe. I'm out. Peace.